Oh man, I think I've seen both sides of it. For one, like being on a team with like Kaylin and knowing that some of the stuff and the wave that she created for like, as you know, where the game is and what she's been a part of, like as far as this process.
There's the face. There's the face again.
This is only women that get this. I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter?
Like, it's just lit. Like women's basketball, the game, how far it's come, the excitement, the attention. Maybe I'll start with you, Kels, because Lord Jesus, your team and their fans,
Jesus,
they be getting up in everybody's business.
So it finally happened. Somebody from inside that Indiana locker room had enough. And not just any player. We're talking about Kelsey Mitchell, one of the longest-tenured, most respected players on the Fever's roster. She finally spoke up. Why? Because Chiney Ogwumike decided to talk slick again. And this time, she crossed the line with her little barbs aimed at Caitlin Clark.
Chiney she's a whole lot to take in. I mean, a little bit goes a long way. She's just really loud and really kind of obnoxious for lack of a better word. And I don't mean obnoxious like just people who are obnoxious and they're just insulting people all over the place and that kind of thing.
Sneaking jabs in under the guise of humor. But Kelsey wasn't laughing. She fired back. And this wasn't some soft-spoken PR fluff piece either. She delivered it with fire, with backbone. And it wasn't just about defending Caitlin Clark. Kelsey stood up for her teammates, for her city, and for every Fever fan who's been getting unfairly dragged into this media circus.
Lord Jesus, your team and their fans,
Jesus,
they be getting up in everybody's business.
Wait. I just noticed that. Your team and their fans, they be getting up in everybody's business. So not just the fans, but it's a dig on the team.
But Kelsey, she didn't just toss out a casual defense. She came through with receipts, clarity, and confidence. Her point was loud and direct. Don't come for Caitlin. And you better not come for Indiana. This entire moment is blowing up online for all the right reasons.
Starting with you, Kels, and then going to B and NECA, how have you guys experienced, is there like a moment that you like think of when it comes to the explosion of the game and how it has changed the game?
The initial setup came during a media sit-down when Chiney Ogwumike dropped one of her classic sarcastic lines. Lord Jesus, your team and your fans, they be all up in everyone's business. It was the kind of line that sounds playful at first, but dig a little deeper and it's laced with passive shade. It wasn't just about poking fun. It was meant to stir the pot and minimize Clark's impact by throwing side-eye at Fever fans.
Notice how the question was phrased. Lord Jesus, your fans. Once again, pushing the narrative that there's something wrong with Indiana Fever fans. I don't like that has become the accepted belief about the Fever fans. But Kelsey Mitchell is a professional. And before long, well, she's going to kind of put them in their place in a way they didn't like, I'm sure.
And let's be honest, that line carried a tone that's become all too familiar. It framed Indiana fans as too loud, too intense, too much for the league's liking. But Kelsey Mitchell wasn't going to sit quietly this time. When it was her turn to speak, Kelsey brought balance. She was calm, measured, but you could hear the conviction in every word. No yelling, no drama, just truth.
Oh man, I think I've seen both sides of it. For one, like being on a team with like Kaylin and knowing that some of the stuff and the wave that she created for like, as you know, where the game is and what she's been a part of, like as far as this process.
Kelsey didn't sugarcoat it. She spoke from experience, from seeing Indiana's growth firsthand. And she brought up her veteran teammate B, presumably Brian January, saying how they both witnessed the old Indiana, the early days, before this wave of momentum hit. That shift, she's living through it. And she's not taking it for granted. Chiney had clearly hoped for a watered-down response, maybe something vague or diplomatic. Instead, Kelsey came through with a direct truth bomb.
Seeing so much of it, and so I think for me lately was the shift in moments in Indiana, period, as far as like the arena, where we started, and B was my vet, kinda, right? Kinda.
We up there, sis. We up there.
She was a Fever girl first, and so she also saw, and you know, she's a vet too. They've seen what Indiana was, and I think now where it's at now, the big moment is seeing the shift and being a part of it from a standpoint that I know where Indiana was, and so to see the cultivation of it, you just grow to appreciate the process and, you know, the growth in which the game is going.
Boom. That's the quote, and you could see it. The second Kelsey said Caitlin's name, Chiney's face changed. That polished media grin, it slipped. Because here's the reality. Folks like Chiney and others in the mainstream sports media, people like Elle Duncan, Monica McNutt, Cheryl Swoops, have spent the last few months doing everything possible to avoid giving Caitlin Clark her flowers. One of them even admitted it outright.
To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the pros, right?
Yeah.
That kind of jealousy isn't just about money. It's about control. Clark's rise flips the script on everything the old guard has built. So instead of celebrating her impact, these media voices downplay it. They label her fans as toxic, her coverage as overhyped, her game as unproven. But Kelsey Mitchell wasn't having it. She stepped up and called it out, and she did it with real leadership. She didn't have to say Clark's name, but she chose to. That's powerful.
This is only women that get this. I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? Stop acting like because you see some randos on Twitter knocking Caitlin Clark, all girls are against her.
Every time the conversation started drifting into vague generalities, Kelsey brought it right back to the truth, with no hesitation.
And I think for me, if I can give or drop any form of advice based off experience, is that all money is not good money. And I mean that literally. I've seen myself in situations where I had to figure out if I wanted to come back to Indy. I had to figure out what was best for me. I lost my parent. So it was like figuring out what I needed, and I figured out that you have to go where you're literally loved. And I mean that literally, and I mean that intentionally. Go where you're loved and not tolerated, because all money is not good money.
She opened up about a deeply personal chapter, how after losing a parent, she had to really think about her next steps, whether she would stay in Indiana, whether it was still the right place for her. You've got to go where you're loved, not just where you're tolerated. That wasn't just about basketball. That was life wisdom. And it's part of what makes her bond with Caitlin Clark so real. While the spotlight's been glued to Caitlin this year, she's never let it consume her. In fact, she's used it to uplift her teammate. Caitlin has repeatedly gone out of her way to give props to Kelsey Mitchell, on camera, in interviews, and behind the scenes.
I felt like Kels probably should have got a little love. I honestly thought she probably should have been player of the month. Just what she was doing, and at the clip she was doing it, I think she was like 50, 40, 90 this month, which is really, really hard to do. So I feel very fortunate to play with her, and honestly, I'm not even trying to be corny. Like, I really think she deserved it. So I think sharing that with her, and I feel lucky to have, you know, a kind of a backcourt mate that has been, you know, through this for 7 years and has really helped me and kind of let me flourish. And
that kind of shout out, that's not PR, that's real chemistry. That's mutual respect. Caitlin could have taken all the headlines for herself, but instead, she used her platform to spotlight someone who's been putting in work for years. And that right there is why Kelsey felt the need to respond when someone tried to dismiss what's happening in Indiana as just hype. This isn't just about a rookie sensation. It's about a team, a culture, a movement that's growing in real time, and Kelsey Mitchell has helped build it brick by brick.
I'm a fever girl again. I'm a fever girl. I'm excited. Kind of missed this court. Yeah, I'm a fever girl again. A lot went into this decision based on what I needed for myself and for, obviously, for my family, my friends. And India's a second home, so I thought I'd give this thing a go.
And for anyone trying to drag the fever down with backhanded comments or petty media jabs, let this be your warning. Kelsey Mitchell isn't going to stay quiet anymore. Even longtime execs like Kelly Krauskopf, a former GM in both the WNBA and NBA, made sure to publicly acknowledge what Kelsey means to the franchise.
First of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing Kelsey how important she is to the Indiana Fever.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So everything about Kelsey Mitchell is core, right? Core values, her core basketball, everything about her is what we're about. And so there was no way she was going.
Just remember, Kelsey Mitchell is watching. And she will speak up again if she has to, because this isn't just hype, it's history. And Indiana is owning their moment. So if you're part of that movement, if you believe in what Caitlin and Kelsey are building, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on screen now, and we'll catch you in the next one.